Hare Krishna, everyone, and we're here at Festival of Soul with Sri Prabhu Prabhu. We'll be going live in a few minutes. We get working out some technical things, so everyone, stay tuned. We'll be on in a few minutes, or if you would like to hear me speak. So we had a wonderful program last night, and it was transcendental. The nectar that was dripping from the words, the pastimes of Shrimati Radharani is just phenomenal. I'm still high from last night, so this is what we do. We sing, dance, we listen to lectures, and we eat prasad. This process is so sweet. There's no difficulties, like Srila Prabhupada would say. So we're getting ready to go live with Sri Prabhu in a few minutes. And so let me talk about Prem is going to be in the U.S. for a while, and he's going to Boston next, so we can follow him. If anyone is going live, we'll also get to see him. So I want to thank all the people who are now viewing. I see many of you are joining on right now. So we want to thank you very much for being here. So we're almost ready to go live with Sri Prabhu. Haribol. You're live.
Hare Krishna.
Check now.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Paripavana Parmadayal Prema Radharmati Kumar Singh Nityananda Prabhu Ki
Jai.
Prema Purushottama Sacinandan Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki
Jai.
Anitai Gaura Sitanada Premanande
Hare 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 Hare.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Sri Rasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sri Chaitanya Nityananda mercy of Sri Sri Gaurnitai. Now we take shelter of the names of Sri Sri Radharani Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hari 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 Bol.
Vrindavan NYC jai. Varsani Walini jai. Vishwan Rajkumari Ju ki
Jai.
Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Govind Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai
Gopal Jai
Jai
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Shrishtam manamapi Vishachiputram atra surupam Rupam tasyagrajamuri purim maturim goshtuvatim Radha kunda magirivaram ahorarikam harvasam Rabdo yasya pratitakripaya Sri Gurum Tamnatum Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namo Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hemabhaddivyat-chabi sundaraya Tasmai mahaprema rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya-vina aparara lashe Chittastakamaritharam kamani Sripamayitam Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Govinda Damodaramaravedhi Govinda Damodaramaravedhi Govinda Damodaramaravedhi Govinda Damodaramaravedhi Hey Krishna, Hey Radha, Hey Saketi Govinda Damodaramaravedhi Sham Sundar Shikanda Sikar Smarahasa Murali Manora Radhikar Sukumama Kripanidhe Swapriya Charna Kinkurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Najivamittaya vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tam Nayamam Chanantikam First of all, I offer my Sastangandarat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadeya Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Satasisimat, Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev to Srila Prabhupada and all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to my dear brothers and sisters, all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakal. So, by the causeless mercies of Sri Guru and the Gauranga, this evening we will discuss one verse, nectarine verse of the king of all scriptures, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam. So you can see here on the board. You can chant together. Ramena Sardam Maturam Pranite Swavaginamai Anurakta Chittara Vidagavame Nahame Viyogam Ivadayomyam Dadashacho Sukaya. This verse is spoken by our Pramnavallabha, most beloved Sri Krishna, to his intimate associate Sri Udhavji. When? Oh, just before Sri Krishna was about to disappear from this world, at the end of his pastimes. Krishna gave instructions to Uddhav in the 11th canto. So he's speaking this verse. Why? Because he's explaining to Uddhav about different levels of devotees, different levels of sadhus, different levels of transcendentalists. The Prakrit Bhaktas, the Madhyam Bhagavatas, the Uttam Bhagavatas, the Paramahamsas who are so illuminated with transcendental knowledge, for whom avidya, or bodily identification, is so far away that, just as Sri Krishna said, just as a drunk and intoxicated person is not aware whether their shirt is on or their shirt is off, in the same way, such Paramahamsas, they're not aware whether their body is on or their body is off. In this way, Sri Krishna is describing different levels of transcendentalists, going higher and higher and higher. So inevitably, that point will come when Sri Krishna, it will manifest in his heart. In fact, it never leaves his heart, but he is reluctant to openly speak about such things with the people in general. But now in his final moments, with his intimate associate Uddhav, Sri Krishna wants to share who are the greatest, the topmost devotees of all. Who are they? The gopis of Vrindavan. So he begins, as Krishna's heart becomes flooded with memories of his pastimes in Vrindavan and of the incomparable love of Srimati Radhika and the gopis. Krishna is speaking this verse to Uddhav. He said, Ramaina sadam maturam pranite. Swapalka means akrura. So Swapalkina, by akrura, pranite, when I was taken, maturam, to Mathura. How? Ramena sardam. Ramena sardam means with Ram, that means along with Balaram. Because akrura took Krishna and Balaram together. So at that time, my anurakta chitta, the Braja Gopis, who were anurakta chitta, their chitta, their entire consciousness was completely attached, completely absorbed in me, in thoughts of me. Then what was their condition? Vigada bhavena name viyogo. In viyog, in separation from me. Their vigada bhav, profound, vast, ecstatic love was such that Tivradyonyam dadashu sukhaya, that in separation from me, the gopis of Vrindavan, they could not find any happiness anywhere. They were experiencing tivra adi, excessive, intense fire, pain of separation. So these are the words of Sri Krishna. This is the general meaning of the verse. But hidden within this verse are very profound sentiments of love Sri Krishna is expressing. This verse is of 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It has been selected by Srila Sanatana Goswami and placed in the end of his Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Perhaps many of you have read the Brihad Bhagavatamrita of Srila Sanatana Goswami. It's a very important text. Why? First of all, Srila Sanat, yesterday we spoke about Srila Rupa Goswami. Today we will speak about Srila Sanatana Goswami. Something. Srila Sanatana Goswami is the Guru, is the Acharya of Sambandha Gyan. First of all, it is necessary for the devotee to be situated in Sambandha Gyan, an understanding of our relationship with Krishna. So Sambandha Gyan is of two types. First is Sadharana Sambandha Gyan, general knowledge of our relationship with Krishna. General knowledge means Krishna is Bhagavan. He has two energies, his internal potency, Swarup Shakti, and Maya Shakti, the external potency. And the jivas, they are the marginal potency. If they turn away from Krishna, then they are situated when they are Krishna Bahimukh. Krishna Bulli say Jiva Anadir Bahimukh. Ataye Vamayatari Diya Samsaraduk. Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatana Goswami. The living entity was in a state of forgetfulness of Sri Krishna, whose consciousness is turned away from Sri Krishna from time without beginning, Anadir Bahimukh. Then that living entity comes under the control of Maya. So if by the mercy of the spiritual master, he comes to understand, Jivera Swarupoi Krishna Nitya Das, I am Sri Krishna's eternal servant. And he begins to serve Sri Krishna in the Anugatya under the guidance of Gurudev and pure Vaishnavas. Then the Maya Shakti, she releases that Jiva and he gets shelter of the Swarup Shakti, Bhakti, the internal potency of Krishna. And gradually he is transferred from this physical plane to the spiritual world, to Goloka Vrindavan. This is Sadharana Sambandha Gyan, ordinary or general Sambandha Gyan. Why? Because it's common to everyone. This is common to everyone. But Vishesh Sambandha Gyan means specific Sambandha Gyan. Knowledge of your individual particular relationship with Krishna. So some living entities, they may attain relation with Krishna, with Lord Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan, or with Sitaram, or with Krishna in Dwarka, or in Mathura, or Krishna in Vrindavan, as a friend, or as a parent. Or some, they may attain relation with Krishna in Madhurya Rasa. Some living entities may attain a relationship in Madhurya Rasa, but Swakiya, in a married mood, in Golok. And then others, they may attain the Parakiya, relationship with Krishna in Madhurya Rasa, unwedded. That means in their form as a gopi of Vrindavan, they will be married to a gop. And they will secretly run away and meet with Krishna. As our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, Vrishabhanu Pure Jannamaloibo Yavati Vivaha Habe Brajagopi Bhav Hoive Swabhav Annubhava Narohive. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying, when will that day come when suddenly I will completely be in a state of forgetfulness of my gross and subtle body, and I'll have the darshan of Vrindavan? When will I take birth in Varsana, in the village of Varsana, as a gopi? And as I get older, when will my hand be given in marriage to a gop, and I will leave Varsana and have to live with my in-laws in Yavat? So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is his eternal position as Kamala Manjari, and by this bhajan he is pointing the way to us. So, why is this position of Radha Dasyam, serving Sri Krishna, but serving Radha and Krishna with a greater inclination towards Radhika? In the Parakiya mood, why is this the topmost? Why is this supreme? What is the glory of that? To understand that, that is the Vishesh Sambandha Gyan of those who are aspiring in that mood. So to establish the glories of this highest level of praying, this gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has written Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, whereby Tovyatmak Bhav, by comparison with the moods of all different devotees, such as Dhruva Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, Hanuman, the Pandavas, Udhava, and the various residents of Vrindavan, up to Radhika herself, Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad establishes the supreme glories of Radha Dasyam. So at the end of that Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there's a collection of important verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srila Sanatana Goswami, you see very often, there's a Shastra, and another great Vaishnava will write a commentary on it. But Srila Sanatana Goswami has written Brihad Bhagavatamrita and himself wrote a commentary on his own text. So, of course, Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, he said that this Brihad Bhagavatamrita is an eternal Shastra, just as the Harivansh Purana is a supplement to the Mahabharata that was revealed by Vaisampayan Rishi. So there's another version of the Mahabharata which has been lost, which is revealed by Jaimini Rishi, and this Brihad Bhagavatamrita is the eternal supplement to that. It's not Goswami. So he's written a commentary on that, and in his commentary he's explaining each one of these very important verses of Srimad Bhagavatam in great detail, revealing the rasic meanings of each word, each syllable of the verses, for the benefit of us, for the benefit of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that they may chant the holy names of Krishna, and then from time to time pause, and then recite such a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then again chant the holy names and sink deeply into the meaning of each word. So this method of bhajan, this is the original, the old method of bhajan established by our Goswamis. This is called Mantramaya Upasana. To chant the holy name while being absorbed deeply in one pastime, in one place, in one location, not going here and there. This method of bhajan is called Mantramaya Upasana. Now, yesterday we discussed Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale. Rupa Goswami revealed the innermost heart's desire of Mahaprabhu. And that Manobhishta, in regard to not what he was realizing, but in regard to what he wanted to give to us, is something called Kevala Madhurya Mai Swarasiki Upasana. Swarasiki Upasana means the bhajan, which is spontaneous, which is a flow of realization of Radha and Krishna's leelas as they go from place to place. Radhika goes from Yavat to Nandagaon, cooks for Krishna. Then Krishna leaves Nandagaon in the morning and goes to the forest to take the cows to graze. Radhika goes back to Yavat. Krishna gradually goes to Govardhan, and then Radhika, on the pretext of worshipping Surya Dev, leaves Yavat and she goes to Radhakund, and Krishna sneaks away from his cowherd boyfriends and meets with Radhika at Radhakund. In this way, Radha and Krishna moving from location to location in Braj. The devotee is chanting the holy names, and this flow of pastimes is going spontaneously without any effort, without any sense of Krishna's Bhagavata, his godhood, without any, how can we say, mixture of Aishwarya Gyan, knowledge of Krishna's opulences, in a very natural, so that's called Kevala Madhuryamai, completely unmitigated, unadulterated, pure relationship with Radha and Krishna, and the service in that Leela is flowing spontaneously and effortlessly by the mercy of the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that is the Manobhishta of Mahaprabhu, to give that Kaivala Madhurya Mai Swarasiki Upasana. But to come to that stage is not so cheap, not so easy. So Srila Sanatana Goswami in Bhakti Rasayan, he's giving not that technique, but another approach to bhajan that is called Mantramai Upasana, where the devotee is chanting the holy name and takes shelter of one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srila Gurudev wrote in his commentary on Ujjwala and Nilamani Kiran, on Bhagavatamrita Kana, there, Srila Gurudev wrote, it was not the intention of Sanatana Goswami to give only Mantramai Upasana, though that's what he's described. But what was his intention? His intention is this, that those who will follow this process of Mantramai Upasana on the verses of Bhakti Rasayana, then that process will be the steps that lead. This is called the Kram Sopana, the gradual steps which lead to the spontaneous Kevala Madhurya Mai Swarasiki Upasana. You understand? So some persons, they try to do an imitation of bhajan. They take their mala, they look at the time, 8:15. What's Krishna doing now? 8:15. They try to remember then, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, it's 10:45. What should I remember now? Like this. This is artificial. You cannot imitate this. This is just imitation of the actual Swarasika Upasana. It will not lead to success. Success will come if we follow the Acharya of Sambandha Gyan, Srila Sanatana Goswami, taking shelter of Bhakti Rasayan. Bhakti Rasayan, this last part of Bhagavatamrita, Rasayan means a tonic. So, a tonic, you know. So if a person is sick, they have to take a medicine, and then the sickness goes away. But now they're in the convalescence period. So in the convalescence period, there's a chance that they may relapse, because they're not so strong. But they want to have a full and healthy, fulfilling life. So in that convalescence period, you have to take Rasayana, tonic. You see? So for those devotees, they are not in Maya. They are not covered in anarthas with many attachments and misconceptions and the bewilderment, moha, body identification. Not for those devotees. Those devotees, they have to do archan. Archan means serving the deity and hearing, chanting, remembering according to the guidance of scripture. So, they are doing archan. Archan means when we have avidya, identification with this body. When we are not established in a realization of our relationship with Krishna. When we take the jagatik vastu, the substances of this world, and we offer them to Krishna with mantras according to the rules and regulations of the deity worship. So all this is archan. So when the devotee is in that stage, he has Aishwarya Gyan, knowledge of Krishna's Bhagavata as well, is very prominent. And so he's careful when he's doing the puja not to make any offense, that all the rules and regulations will be followed carefully. So when all these aspects are present, then don't think that archan is only serving the deity, but even the shravanam, the kirtanam and the smaranam of that devotee is included in the category of archan. Now bhajan is different. Bhajan means the hot sun of understanding of Krishna's Bhagavata. It becomes cool, and like the moon has a cooling nectarian rays, the devotee begins to realize Krishna's sweetness in the stage of ruchi. He's now going beyond avidya, not identifying with the material body. He's not offering to Krishna the jagatik vastu, the gross objects of this world, according to the mantras, but he's offering Krishna his internal sentiments and offering substances composed of his taste. Ruchi asakti bhav will come. Especially he's offering the bhavmai, doing bhavmai seva. So then that devotee, he's doing bhajan. So there's a big difference between archan and bhajan. One day, Srila Gurudev, he said to me, he said, when you are doing bhajan, actually you are doing archan. He said, when I am doing archan, actually I am doing bhajan. It depends on the stage, the adhikar of the devotee. So, Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, he wants to bring us into that plane of spontaneous bhajan. So for the devotees who have gone through anartha nivritti, nishta, they're coming in ruchi and asakti. So those devotees, they're not in maya. But their spiritual life is not fully healthy yet. So they should drink this bhakti rasayana. And by following the process given by Srila Sanatana Goswami here, they will attain the Kevala Madhurya Mai Swarasiki Upasana. Gradually the eligibility for serving Radha Krishna spontaneously in the Astakali Lila, it will manifest. So that's why we are studying this. Don't think we're hearing something about Udhava. Oh, this is nothing to do with me. But gradually when we come to that stage, through anartha nivritti, nishta and ruchi is coming, then we'll have to do bhajan like this. So, in this verse, Sri Krishna, perhaps you know, his Samba, his grandson, had made a fence. Along with other young boys of the Yadu dynasty, they tried to play a trick on the rishis. And Durvasa Rishi was one of them. So this is my advice, don't try to play tricks on Durvasa Rishi. Durvasa can be quite ferocious. And he cursed that the Yadu dynasty would be destroyed. So in order to mitigate this, Sri Krishna went with the members of the Yadu dynasty, left Dwarka, and he went to Prabhas. He told Udhava, I want you to go to Badrika Ashram. But when Krishna left, Udhava was so attached to Krishna, he couldn't leave him. And from a distance he followed Krishna. And after the Yadu dynasty were disappeared from this world, Sri Krishna, he was also about to leave, and Udhava approached him. At that time, Krishna spoke the glories of various devotees, and now he's revealing the glories of the highest devotees, the greatest sadhus. When we say sadhu sangha sarva shastrikoi, sadhu sangha lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhihoi, all the scriptures tell you must associate with the sadhu. You must associate with the sadhu. Even a moment's association with the sadhu can bring one all perfection. So, of all sadhus, the greatest sadhus, they are the gopis of Vrindavan. So really, we should say, Gopi Sangha Sarva Shastrikoi, Lavamatra Gopi Sangha Sarva Siddhihoi. Try to associate with those Braja Gopis. They come into this world in the form of our Guru Parampara. Srila Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. Sanatana Goswami is Lavanga Manjari. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Kamala Manjari. When we can associate with those Vaishnavas who are actually the damsels of Brajabhumi in the group of Shrimati Radhika, this is the highest Sadhu Sangha. So in the context of Sadhu Sangha, Krishna is speaking this verse to Udhava. Who is Udhava? Vrishninam pravaro mantri Krishnasya daita saka. Sishyo prihaspate sakshad Udhavo buddhi sattamaha. Shukadeva Goswami said, among the Vrishni dynasty, Udhav is chief. He's Krishna's advisor. He's Krishna's very confidential counselor. He's Krishna's Sakha, is Krishna's intimate friend. Just like in Vrindavan, if Krishna goes to meet with the gopis, then only very intimate friends like Subal, the Priyanama Sakhas, they might go with Krishna. So in the same way, in Mathura, when Krishna went to meet with Kubja, Udhav went with him. So he's Sakha. Very, very intimate, confidential friend of Krishna. Daita, he's given his heart to Krishna, his beloved, very much dear to Krishna. Shishyo Brihaspate Sakshad. And Udhav is very intelligent. He's a direct disciple of Brihaspati, the guru of all the devatas. And Sakshad Udhavo Buddhi Sattama. You know what the word Udhav means? Udhav means festival. Sakshat Udhav means that Udhav himself is directly a walking, talking, breathing festival of joy. Wherever Udhav goes, it's a festival of joy. He's overflowing with love for Krishna. He was actually born in a Kshatriya family from Madhya Pradesh. And there by their Varna, they have a golden complexion. But when Udhav was a little boy, 5 years old, he used to have a deity of Krishna. He used to wake up early in the morning and bow down and serve his deity of Krishna. And sit staring at the deity of Krishna with unblinking eyes for hours and hours, not taking any food or even taking a drop of water. So as Udhav got older, he was so afflicted by the sickness of love for Krishna in separation that his complexion became sham color, like Udhav's. Then even his parents couldn't recognize him. What happened? So from childhood, Udhav's love for Krishna is extremely intense. He's Krishna's cousin. Vasudev Maharaj has a brother named Devabhag, and he's the son of Devabhag. So he's Krishna's friend, he's Krishna's cousin, he's Krishna's the advisor. And he's a walking Sakshat Udhava, he's a walking festival of joy, of love for Krishna, wherever he goes. So Krishna has said, Na tatha me priyatama, Atma yoni na shankara, na sankashana na shri, Atma eva cha tatha bhavan. Krishna said, hey Udhav, Na tatha me priyatama, Atma yoni. Lord Brahma, who is born from my navel, is not as dear to me as you, Udhav. Na Shankara, Shankar, Lord Shiva, Harihara Ekatma, who is one with me, is not so dear to me as you, Udhav. Na Shri, Lakshmi Devi, my own Shakti, is not as dear to me as you, Udhav. Sankarsh, my own brother Sankarshan, is not as dear to me, Udhav. Atma eva cha tatha bhavan. O Udhav, even my own Atma, my own soul, is not as dear to me as you. So how dear to Krishna is Udhav? In fact, Krishna said, Udhavam vapiman you know, yad guna nadita prabhu, ato madvayano lokam, ato madvayanam lokam, grahayan hi atishtatu. When Krishna was about to leave this world, all the Yadu dynasty had disappeared. But one person was left behind, Udhav. He couldn't go with Krishna. Because Krishna told him, Ato madvayonam lokam grahan hiyatishtatu. O Udhav, I want you to stay here in this world. Why? Ato madvayano lokam. I want you to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. Udhavan Rapiman, you know. Krishna said, Udhav, you are not even slightly less than myself. You may have heard about Udhava. You think that you know Udhava. Think again. Revise your conception of Udhava. Who is Krishna? Udhavan vapiman, you are not even slightly less than myself. You have to stay in this world to speak Bhagavatam. The deep meaning is this, that if someone will meet Udhava and they will hear Bhagavad Katha from his lips, they will see Krishna. Therefore he is saying, Udhavan, you are not less than me in any way. You see? When you see a speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam who has realization, you are thinking, oh, now I'm going to hear someone speak Srimad Bhagavatam. Don't think like that. The pure speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna Roop, one form of Krishna himself. There's only one speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna, in the end of 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a tad rupina, tad atmana. It is said that just as Krishna speaks the Bhagavatam to Brahma, then Krishna takes the form of Brahma and speaks to Narad. Then Krishna enters and takes the form of Narada and speaks to Vyas. Then he takes the form of Vyas and speaks to Shukadev. Then he takes the form of Shukadev and speaks to Sutta Goswami. So there's one speaker of Bhagavatam, one revealer of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna comes in many forms, one after another, and by speaking the Katha, he reveals also his Swarup as Sham Sundar in Vrindavan. So Udhavan vapiman, Udhav, Yad guna naditapo, he's not touched by the gunas. Anything touched by the gunas will be destroyed. But Udhav, in his Nitya Swarup, even the Yadu dynasty, they're transcendental, but they all disappeared from this. But Udhav was still here. So, that very great personality, Udhav, Krishna is speaking this verse. Now what is Krishna saying? First he said, Ramena Sadam, look at it. Take it. This is not a holiday, a night off. But that you will come here to relax. Now you came in my trap, it's too late. You cannot leave. Now you're in the University of Sanatana Goswami. And you have to work hard tonight. So look, pay attention. Ramena Sadam, with Balaram. Maturam Pranite. When Swapalkina means by Akrura. I was taken by Akrura to Mathura. Now what is the deep sentiment of Sri Krishna here? Krishna is saying, Pranite, I was taken by Akrura. That means that Krishna is saying that I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave Vrindavan, Udhav. But he took me. Akrura took me away. He's using the name for Akrura, Swapalkina. Swapalki means the son of Swapalka. Akrura's father was named Swapalka. He's a great person in the Yadu dynasty, and he was though he was a householder, he was a Muni. He was a great sage. And once, before he was married, in Kashi, in Benares, there was a drought. There was no rain for a long time. And it was a very critical situation. And the king was thinking, what to do? What should I do? And then he heard that there's a great Muni named Supalka. And wherever he goes, everything becomes auspicious, wherever he keeps his lotus feet. So then the king made a plan. He offered his daughter's hand in marriage to Swapalka. So then Swapalka came to Kashi, married his daughter, and when he arrived, the sky became full of rain clouds and the rain came down. Then everyone was, they were astonished. How powerful, how pure is this saint that wherever he goes, destroys all the bad karma of those people there and makes their life auspicious. How wonderful. So there was a great charisma surrounding Swapalka. And so when he had a son, his name was Akrura. And Akrura, being very qualified son of Swapalka, he also he was appropriated in the eyes of the public the charisma of Swapalka. So Akrura was also very famous for being a powerful Muni, a great devotee. So the reason Krishna is bringing up his relationship with his father, with the Yadu dynasty, and his position of being a very respectful Muni, is because Krishna is thinking, you know, when Akrura took me away from Vrindavan to Mathura, at that time the Braja Gopis, they surrounded the chariots. They lay down in front of the horses. They were weeping. They were begging, trying to stop him from going. But Akrura drove this way and that way around them, and he took me away. And in this way, Akrura made offense to the Gopis of Vrindavan. But Krishna is saying, but remember, he's the son of Swapalka. So if there's a very great personality and he does something that you might consider to be offensive, but you should make some concession. Because a great personality, they have their reasons. Don't try to see something bad in it. So Krishna is saying, first of all, I didn't want to go. And secondly, though he took me and it was an offense, but he's a great personality, so we should anyway respect him. Another meaning is this, that he's the son of Swapalka, means that he's from the Yadu dynasty. And why did Akrura take me away from Vrindavan? Because in Mathura, the very ferocious and ruthless demon Kamsa Maharaj was ruling with an iron fist. He had put Vasudeva and Devaki in prison. He was killing their children each year before their eyes. He was terrorizing all the members of the Yadu dynasty. He was an absolute tyrant. And because Akrura is a member of the Yadu dynasty, it is not inappropriate for him to want to bring Krishna there for the sake of saving his own dynasty that was suffering so much. With that bhav, Sri Krishna is saying, Swapalkina, remembering Akrura in this way. Ramena Sadam means he took me away along with Balaram. What bhav is in? Sanatana Goswami is explaining all of these things, because you can read this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, but what does it mean to you? You see, if the heart is hard, if you drop a stone on the concrete floor, it will just bounce off. So when we have anarthas, then when the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, they bounce off our heart. But if you drop a stone in water, then what happens? It makes waves. So ruchi bischitamasrinya kridaso bhava uchite. When the heart has been melted by taste, when the devotee is in the stage of bhav, his heart is liquid, very, very soft. So when the heart is touched by a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, then the waves come. The Sanchari Bhavs, so many ecstatic emotions. So Srila Sanatana Goswami is revealing the waves he's experiencing in his heart when he's touched by the nectar of this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Srila Sanatana Goswami hears this, Ramena Sadam, Krishna is saying, O Udhava, Akrura took me along with my brother Balaram. Then he's feeling this. At the time when Krishna danced on the head of a Kaliya Nag, Kaliya serpent. Before that, Krishna was being held in the grip of the coils of Kaliya. And there were so many inauspicious omens, shakun, omens, ashubha shakun, inauspicious omens like comets and the tremors in the earth, and the men were trembling on their left side, twitching in the left side of the body. All these different inauspicious omens were there. And the Brijbasis thought something terrible must be happening. So they ran out of the village and they saw Krishna's footprints and they followed them. And they came on the bank of Kaliyarad, one lake at the side of the Jamuna. And they saw Krishna. Yes, something very inauspicious was happening. Krishna was wrapped in the coils of a ferocious serpent. And they thought he was being crushed. So when the Brijbasis saw this, they were stunned. They were devastated. They thought that now Krishna is being killed before our eyes. It's unspeakably painful for all of the Brijbasis. Oh, you may be wondering, how could these inauspicious omens be taking place in Vrindavan? Because Vrindavan is the transcendental abode. Wherever Krishna is present, there cannot be any inauspiciousness. But because the demigods, they wanted to intensify the rasa, the nectar of this lila. The demigods thought, oh, now Krishna's in this position, and the Brijbasis think he's an ordinary child, so we should make it look like inauspicious things are happening. So then the demigods, they said, okay, special effects department, lightning, tremors, comets in the sky, and the demigods started to do special effects to make it look like it was inauspicious. It really wasn't. But that's the demigods are always trying to do some service somehow or other from afar in Krishna's Leela. So when the Brijbasis came on the bank of Jamuna, they were horrified. They wanted to enter into the poisoned water. Mother Yashoda, she saw a cow, and she was so distraught with the pain of separation from Krishna that in her bewilderment, she thought that the cow was a Brahmin, and bowed down to the cow and said, "Oh Brahmin, please chant some mantras that can charm a snake so he'll release my boy." But the cow gave no answer. Then Mother Yashoda was so bewildered, she saw a tree, a banyan tree. She thought it was a tantric, a doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, and said, "Oh," she bowed down to the tree, "Oh doctor, please give some medicine to cure the poison of this deadly snake." But there was no answer. So then Mother Yashoda, she wanted to enter into the lake. The other Brijbasis wanted to enter into the lake. But who stopped them? Balaram. Balaram spread his arms and said, "No." Mother Yashoda fainted at once. He held back Nanda Maharaj and others. "Don't go in." And he said, "Don't be worried. Krishna will be all right. He cannot be harmed by this demon." So here, Krishna is saying to Udhava, "Matu Ramena Sardam." When Akrura took me away to Mathura with Balaram, Krishna was feeling, just see, at that time when I was held by Kaliya, all Brijbasis were in separation, but Balaram was there to pacify them, to give them some solace. But when Akrura took me away from Vrindavan, Ramena Sardam, he took Balaram with me. And therefore, it was an extremely critical time because no one was there to pacify them. No one could speak words of solace to the Brijbasis. So here's this verse. We're only mentioning the first two words, Ramena Sadam. How much bhav, how much nectar is in each word, in each syllable of Srimad Bhagavatam. Ramena Sadam Mataram Pranite. Swapalkina Maya Anurakta Chittaha. O Udhava, at that time when Akrura took myself and Balaram away to Mathura, then the Braja Gopis, whose hearts were deeply attached to me. How are the Gopis attached to Krishna? Vigada Bhavena. With Vigada, deep, very profound, ecstatic love. Their love is such that during the Rasalila, see, Krishna called all Braja Gopis to the Rasalila, and he danced with them, and by the influence of Yoga Maya, that night became a night of Lord Brahma. Became 4,320,000,000 years. But the Vigada Bhav, the deep love of the Braj Gopis was such that those millions and billions of years passed like 1 second. At the end of the night, they thought, oh, it was like a flash of lightning. Vigada Bhave. So, if millions of years meeting together can seem to pass like one flash of lightning, now at the time of separation, one flash of lightning seems to last like millions of years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed that in Shikshastikam. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda Virahe Name. O Govinda, in separation from you, one moment seems to last like millions of years. Tears are falling from my eyes like rain in the monsoon season, and I see that the entire universe is empty, vacant. So that's what Krishna is saying here to Udhava. Udhava, that Drishu Sukaya, the gopis could not see any possibility of happiness anywhere in separation from me. Why? Tannavidan mai. Tannavidan mai anasanga padha Diyasumapmanamatastatedam Yathasamado Munyamtitaye Nadya Pravista Eva Nama Rupe. Shri Krishna said, O Udhav, just like great sages, when they go into samadhi, they completely forget this physical body and mind. And just like rivers, we say Jamuna, Saraswati, Ganga, and so on. We give them names. But when the rivers enter into the ocean, then what is there? Their names and forms are forgotten. So Krishna said, in the same way, the hearts of Braj Gopis were so absorbed in love for me. Their buddhi, their intelligence became like a kamadhenu, a wish-fulfilling cow. You know, if there's a wish-fulfilling cow, if anyone approaches, whatever they ask for, that cow's just giving that. So in the same way, the intelligence of Braj Gopis, their buddhi, which is shining completely pure, became like a wish-fulfilling cow. They were only at every moment absorbing, thinking, how can I please the son of Nanda Maharaj? How can I please Govinda, Damodar, Madhusudan? And they were so, the Braj Gopis were so absorbed in thinking of me, in serving me and pleasing me, that just as the rishis forget their own body and even their own name, Braj Gopis forgot their own bodies, Braj Gopis forgot their own names. You know, in Raslila, Krishna said, Na pariyam niravajya samyudam swasadu krityam vibudayu shapima ya mahapajan durjaya geya sankala samrishatadva pratiyatu sadhuna. Oh my beloved gopis, I can never repay you. Even if I become your servant for the duration of the life of Lord Brahma, I could not repay even one service that you have rendered to me. Why? Because Yamma Bhajan Durjaya Geha Sankala. You have broken the very difficult to break chains of the household life. Attachment to family members and religious principles. You have broken all these chains. Therefore, I cannot repay you. You have given up everything for me. But I have not given up anyone or anything for you. Your love for me is one-pointed. But my love goes everywhere. I love Yashoda and Nanda and the cowherd boys. I cannot give up any one of my devotees. I cannot even give up even one of my cows. Even Krishna is such, what to speak of giving up any resident of Vrindavan, he cannot give up any sadhak practicing devotee in this world. What to speak of any practicing devotee in this world? Even a practicing devotee who is fallen and He cannot give him up. In Gita he said, Apichet sujarataro bhajate mamananyabhak sadureva samantavyak samyak samvyahito hisaha. Hey Arjun, if with someone is one-pointed, he's dedicated to me, he doesn't serve any devatas, Deva and Devi Puja, then that person, even if he does abominable activity, but still he's a sadhu, I cannot give him up. So Krishna cannot give up any devotee anywhere. But Braj Gopis have left everything, one-pointed. So Krishna said, I cannot repay you. So, what is the inner meaning of these words of Krishna? That you have broken the shackles of household life. You have left your husbands and family. You know, this is Kali Yuga. So many people are left there. They had divorce, they leave their husband, leave their wife. Happens all the time. So will Krishna say, I cannot repay you, you left your husband or you left your wife? Krishna say to them, no, never. The inner meaning is this. In Mahabhav, there's a symptom called Mohanabhavepi Sarva Vismriti. That the love for Krishna is so intense that it obliterates one's memory of everything. So don't think that the gopis just decided, I'm going to leave my husband, I'm going to leave my family. No, it wasn't like that. But their praying was so intense that it obliterated their memory of who am I, where am I, what am I. They even forgot their own name. And just ran, just with the feeling, I must please Krishna. I exist only to please Krishna. So it's a glorification of their Mahabhav. So Krishna is saying to Udhava, when I left Vrindavan, Vigada Bhavena Namevi Yoga, in separation from me, Braj Gopis could not experience any happiness at all. Vigada Bhav, deep ecstasy. Radharani would become so mad, and she would sometimes think, oh, Krishna is here in Vrindavan. I was just a dream. That the Krura took him away was just a bad dream. I should make a garland for him. And Radhika would sit in the forest with flowers and make a garland for Krishna. And thinking, he'll come just now, I'll give him this garland. And Radhika is waiting and waiting and waiting. For days, Krishna's not coming. All Sakis are weeping. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. And when the smarna of Krishna, remembrance of Krishna becomes deep, then it becomes spurti, vision of Krishna. Radhika could feel two soft lotus fragrant hands over her eyes. She said, who's that? Is that Lalita? Is that Vishaka? Is that you? Then Krishna jumped in front and said, no, it's me, Krishna. Krishna took his pitambar, his cloth, and began to wipe away the tears of Radhika. Radhika said, why did you leave me? And Krishna, wiping away her tears, said, I'll never leave you. I'm always with you. Then Radhika reached out her arms to embrace him, and then she saw nothing was there. And she fainted. Krishna saying, Udhava, oh Udhava, Vigada Bhavena Namevi Yogo. When I left Vrindavan, there was nothing, there was no place, no situation in which Braj Gopis could find any happiness day and night. They're burning in the fire of separation from me. That fire is more intense than a Baranal. That means subaquatic volcano. You know, if there's fire, you can put some water on it, it will go out. But when there's a volcano underneath the ocean, even though it's buried under millions and millions of gallons of water, it will never go out. Braja Gopi's separation is like that. So Udhav, Krishna is telling to Udhav, oh Udhav, I am feeling so much regret. Now Krishna wants to tell Udhav something about the gopis in this verse that he couldn't tell him before. He couldn't. There are two places in Srimad Bhagavatam where Krishna glorifies the gopis of Vrindavan to Udhav. First of all, when Krishna had gone to Mathura, one day Udhav was searching for him. He's looking everywhere. Where did Krishna go? He couldn't find him. And finally he came to one room in the palace of Vasudeva Maharaj. And Krishna was sitting alone. And when Udhav approached him, he saw that he had tears in his eyes. And Udhav was shocked. Why? Because for Udhav, Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha. He's Anandamaya, he's full of joy. Udhav never thought Krishna sits alone and weeps. What is it what pain is he feeling? So at that time, Krishna, he looked at the Jamuna river and he saw that there were high waves flowing in the Jamuna. And Krishna could understand why. Because millions of Braja Gopis were crying on the bank of Jamuna in Vrindavan, and their tears were flowing in Jamuna and making the waves. And it was coming from Vrindavan to Mathura. Krishna was thinking, I have to do something. I have to send a message to them, to give them some solace. But who can I send? So Krishna was going through this process in his mind. He thought to himself, look, whom can I send to Mathura? It's very difficult. If I send a person who only has Aishwarya Gyan, knowledge of my opulence, that I am Bhagavan, then when he goes to Vrindavan and he sees the Brijbasis weeping, then he'll criticize them and think, what are you worried about? Krishna's God is in your heart. Krishna's everywhere. And he may criticize the Brijbasis. On the other hand, if he were to send a devotee who is completely in Madhurya and has no knowledge of Krishna's opulence, then when he goes to Vrindavan and sees the pain that the Brijbasis are in, then that person would criticize Krishna. How could you be so cruel as to leave them and abandon them and put them into this terrible state of suffering? So if Krishna will choose someone with Aishwarya Gyan, they'll criticize the Brijbasis. And if he selects someone who has Madhurya Bhav, then they'll criticize him. So Krishna was thinking, I have to find someone who is not fully in Aishwarya Bhav and not fully in Madhurya Bhav, but mixed together. Who could that be? And then Krishna saw that Udhav was coming. So once there was a man and he had a very expensive jewel. And he put this jewel on a chain, a golden chain. And one day he thought, where's my jewel? And he was looking everywhere. Where's my jewel? I've lost my jewel. And then suddenly he realized, oh, I'm wearing it. And it was right there on the chain around his neck. It's right here. So in the same way, when Krishna was thinking, what person has that right mixture of Aishwarya Bhav and Madhurya Bhav, whom can I send to Mathura? When Udhav approached him, then Krishna was like that first, oh, that very person was here all along, Udhav. And Krishna took the hand of Udhav in his hands and he said to Udhav, Gachtuddhava brajam somya pritro now pritimavaha gopinam madviyogadim matsandeshar vimochaya. Gachta Udhav. Udhav, go. Where? Brajam. Go to Braja. Pitrona pratimavaha. And bring some consolation to our parents, Nanda and Yashoda. But don't try to use your intelligence and diplomacy to pacify the gopis. Don't try, you'll make everything worse. Gopinam madviyogadim matsandesha vimochaya. I'm going to give you some messages. When you meet Nanda and Yashoda, you think of how you can satisfy them. But with Braj Gopis, don't try anything. You don't understand. Just repeat my messages to them as it is, without changing anything. And in this way, pacify their separation. So Udhava, he didn't want to go. He was very attached to Krishna. So why would he want to leave Mathura and go there to Vrindavan? So Krishna began to describe the glories of the gopis. Taman manaska mat prana madate chakpradayika. Their hearts are completely given to me. For me, they have given up everything. In fact, balavo me madatmika. Krishna said, the gopis are somehow or other struggling to stay alive in separation from me. How do they stay alive? Balavo me madatmika. I am their Atman. If you look inside the hearts of the gopis and try to find their Atma, what do you find? Krishna said, me. I am living in their hearts and being present in their hearts. I am keeping them alive. So Krishna said to Udhava, you are seeing me here in Mathura, but I am only partially present here. I am fully present there with them. If you go, you will realize it. So then Udhava, hearing these words of Krishna, some inspiration, some lobha, some greed came. Oh, Krishna's not fully present here. He's really present there. They have such a love. That greed came, he wanted to experience that. He wanted to go there. So Krishna brought Udhava to the same chariot that he himself came from Vrindavan. And he gave Udhava his own pitambar, his own cloth. He gave Udhava his own garland, which had Krishna's fragrance. And then Udhava set out on the chariot, and he came to Braja. So the truth of the matter is that Udhava wasn't being pulled to Vrindavan by the horses. He was being pulled there by his own lobe, his own greed, to realize Krishna's presence in Vrindavan and the love of the Brijvasis. No one can go to Vrindavan by buying a ticket, by going in an airplane or by bus or being pulled on a chariot with horses. Only lobe, only greed can carry you to that Vrindavan. So when Udhava came to Vrindavan, he met with Nanda and Yashoda first. And Nanda Maharaj spoke the whole night to him. And in the morning, he came out of Nandagaon and took bath in one lake, Krishna Kund, and then he sat. Udhava was remembering his Gayatri Mantra. But as he was remembering, he saw in the distance, in the forest, a light and very astonishing illumination was rising. A luster was rising for the forest. And he became struck with curiosity. What is that? So then Udhava, he followed that light and he entered into that forest. That place is a Kadamba Kandi. Now it's known as Udhava Kyariya. And when he entered into that forest, there was nothing that could have prepared him for what he saw. He saw thousands of very beautiful Kishori, teenage gopis, who were very thin, with disheveled hair, covered in dust, with torn cloth. And they were all weeping and calling the name of Krishna, sometimes fainting, rolling on the ground. And especially, he saw one most beautiful young gopi. And the bumblebee was flying around her feet. And she was shooing the bumblebee away. And she was quarreling with the bumblebee. When Udhava saw her, then he realized, oh, this must be Srimati Radhika. And from a distance he was watching. Udhava bowed down, he gave pranams to her. And just as he bowed down, just at that moment, she said, Madhupakitava bandho masprisangrim sapatnya kuchavidalita mahala kumkumasma shubina Vahatu madhupatistan manininam prasadam yadusadasi vidamyam yasaduttastamitrik. Oh Madhupa, friend of a cheetah, don't touch my feet. Huh? It's very interesting. When you give pranam to someone, what does that mean? That means in your mind you're touching their feet. So though Udhava was far away, when he bowed down, Madhupa kitava bandho, kitava, friend of a cheetah, don't touch my feet. Each word that Radhika was saying to the bumblebee, Udhava was taking it personally. Because it exactly applied to him. Because you are Kitava Bandhu, friend of a cheetah, you are friend of Krishna. You have come from Mathura, Kucha Vilalita Mala Kunkumasma Subirna. Radharani said, don't touch my feet because you are Madhupa. Madhupa means one who drinks wine. Honey is bumblebee, but also Madhu means wine. So Mathura is the place of the Yadu dynasty, and the Yadu dynasty are famous for drinking alcohol. You know how they disappeared from this world, right? They all got drunk and they fought with each other. So the Yadu dynasty are famous for drinking alcohol, and Madhupuri is a place where they have so much wine. And the Kshatriyas, they drink there. So if someone drinks alcohol, then they're contaminated. Rather, don't touch me, don't contaminate me. Madhupakitava bandho mas prasangram sapatnya kucha vilalita mala kunkumasma shubina. Oh bumblebee. Bumblebee was humming. And Radharani by Bhav Karna, that means by the ears of her ecstatic love. It was as if the bumblebee was speaking to her and saying, oh my Swamini, oh beloved of Krishna. Mas, but don't touch me, don't touch me. I am not the beloved of Krishna, I am not your Swamini. Radharani said, look, what's that on your moustache? On your antenna. You know, bumblebee has an antenna. He said, what's that? I know what it is. The bumblebee said, it's just the pollen. Because I'm a bumblebee, so to fly all the way from Mathura to Vrindavan is a very long distance for me. So on the way I became thirsty. I stopped and landed on a flower, and I took some nectar from the flower, and the pollen from the flower got on my antenna, like that. That's all. Radharani said, no, I know what it is. It's kumkum. And that kumkum has come from the garland of Krishna. And how did that kumkum get on his garland? You tell me, Mr. Bumblebee. That means that just before the bumblebee appeared, Radharani was thinking of Krishna, and in her mind she saw that one beautiful princess of Mathura came and Krishna met with her, and Krishna embraced her, and the kumkum from her body was smeared on Krishna's garland. And the garland became very fragrant. The fragrance of the flowers, the fragrance of Krishna, and the fragrance of kumkum from the body of that princess was on the flowers. So Radharani, in her remembrance of Krishna, she saw that bumblebee landing on the flower and becoming covered in the kumkum. And then when she opened her eyes and saw a bumblebee, she thought, it's him! That's the one! He just came from Krishna and he's meeting with a new beloved. So Radharani said, Bahatu Madhu Patistan Manininam Prasadam. Just, there's no need for you, Mr. Bumblebee, here. Because you are the dut, the messenger of Krishna. So if a hero and heroine, they're having a quarrel with each other, so a messenger can go backwards and forwards and bring messages and try to make a reconciliation. So Radharani is saying, no need for a messenger here, because there will be no reconciliation without cheating. But in Mathura, now Krishna, he's going to meet one princess, and he's enjoying so much with her that he becomes late for his appointment with another princess. And then when he goes to meet with her, she's upset that he's late, and then he becomes late for his appointment with another princess. So Bumblebee, we have no need for your services here in Vrindavan. You should go there to Mathura. Krishna needs some counselor, some mediator, to mediate in his quarrels with all these princesses in Mathura. So, Bahatu Madupatistan, Mani, there in Man now, Mani Ninam Prasadam, Yadu Sadasi Vibadambam, Yassidu Tastamidrik. O Bumblebee, a person who employs a messenger like you will become Yadu Sadasi Vidambyam, the object of ridicule by the members of the Yadu dynasty. Why is that? Because you have come here to Vrindavan to tell me, oh, Krishna loves you. Krishna's only remembering you. Krishna thinks of you and he never thinks of anyone else. But while you're telling me this message, you have the cosmetics from his new girlfriend all over your face. But you're so drunk you don't even realize it. So, Krishna is like a chuchundra. Radharani said, chuchundra means a muskrat. So muskrat, when a muskrat meets with a female muskrat, then they go to a secret place no one can see. But because the fragrance of the muskrat meeting with his beloved spreads out, even though no one can see, but the fragrance, anyone can detect it and they know there's a muskrat over there. And meeting with his associate. Like that. So Radharani is saying, oh Bumblebee, Krishna will become ridiculed in the Yadu dynasty. Why is that? Because he has an unqualified messenger like you. Because Krishna is like the chuchundra. Krishna is similar to a muskrat. He's secretly doing so many pastimes, but you are like his fragrance. And you are going everywhere, and only by seeing you, Bumblebee, everyone will come to know what Krishna is doing in Mathura. So, in this way, Radharani, she's quite mad, in love for Krishna, speaking with the Bumblebee, and Udhava from a distance is watching and thinking, I have never seen a prem like this ever before. I have never seen anything like this. Afterwards, Udhava, he thought, how could Krishna leave Radharani? How could he leave the Braja Gopis? It's a most terrible thing. And Udhava had doubts in Krishna. So just then, as he was feeling these doubts, Udhava heard a voice. Hey Udhava, I never leave Vrindavan. And Udhava looked and he saw Radha and Krishna were together, sitting together, smiling, laughing. And Udhava, he was astonished. He fell on the ground to give Dandavat Pranam. Krishna, you were here. I thought that you were there in Mathura. You were here. And Udhava fell on the ground and gave pranams. And then he lifted his head to touch the feet of Krishna and take his dust. But when he looked up, he saw, disappeared. And only Radharani was there crying and arguing with the bumblebee. Then Udhava realized, he prayed. Sarvato bhavadikrito bhavatinam madoksaje virahina mahabhaga mahanmayanugraha kritaha. Oh gopis, only you have the adhikar, the qualification to love Krishna with this mahabhav. It's not in anyone but you. And now I understand. Bhavatinam adoksajay. You love Krishna who is adoksaj. Adoksaj means beyond the perception of the senses. Because Udhava realized that he was in Krishna's Prakat Leela. But beyond the range of the senses, Krishna's aprakat lila, unmanifest pastimes, were eternally going on, and Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So Udhav is not seeing the Nitya Lila. He saw it for a moment and then it disappeared. And now he's seeing the Prakat Lila of this world, the Naimitic Lila of Krishna's leaving, and all gopis, though they're eternally with Krishna, they're showing him their separation. So Udhav said, Virahena Mahabagha Mahanme Anugraha Krita. O gopis, you are very merciful to me by showing me your separation. Why? Because love is very difficult to understand. When the lover and beloved meet together, it's very difficult for others to understand how deep is their love. But when separation comes, then their heart breaks and the love pours out in their weeping in separation. Then a person understands, oh, their love is so deep. So if Udhav had seen Krishna's Leela meeting with gopis, he would not understand. So Virahena Mahabhaga Mahanme Anugraha Krita. He said, gopis, mercifully you have shown me your separation. So I can have some insight into the depth of your brain. Then Udhav began to offer so many prayers. He said, Kve mastriyavana chari vyabachara dusta Krishneko chaisa paramatmani rudabhava Nandashvaro nubhajato vidishopi sakshat sreyasthanocha gadaraja ivopayukta. Udhav was pointing his finger and his finger was trembling. He said, Kve mastriyavana chari vyabachara dusta. Means, where are these gopis and where am I? Vyabhachara dushta. It appears that the gopis are contaminated by vyabhachara, irreligious activity, because they abandon their husbands and their families, they transgress dharma. But the gopis are not vyabhachara dushta, contaminated or defiled by the irreligious activity, going against dharma. Who is in that condition? Contaminated by the irreligious activity. I am. Why? Because all Shastra tells us, Sarva dharmam prichadya mamekam shanan praja. Abandon everything and surrender to me, Krishna said. But who has actually done that? Everyone's love takes a particular form according to their sambandha, their relation with Krishna. And they never go out of that. That is called sambandha rup, sambandha atmik bhakti. The friends always act like friends. The parents always act like parents. They don't go outside of that. But the Braj Gopis, their love for Krishna is not circumscribed by any rule or regulation. So it is called Kama Rupa Bhakti. It transgresses all boundaries and therefore it increases unlimitedly. So Udhav said, where are the gopis and where am I? The gopis are on the top of Mount Everest of Prema. I cannot even see how high their love is. I cannot understand. It's beyond my intelligence. Udhav was like, Srila Gurudev gave an example. He said, this person is wearing a hat and they're trying to look at the top of a very high building. So they go like this. And then their hat falls off. So Udhav was like that. Udhav was trying to see the top of the extent of the gopis' love, and his buddhi, his hat and his buddhi, his intelligence fell off. His intelligence failed. There's a Brajbasi poem. Uddho suddho ho gayo braja gopin kebo jnana bajai dugdugi baja prema katho. You know Hindi, right? You speak Hindi? So in Hindi every sentence ends with he. So in Braj Bas becomes oh. Udhav is Udho. Udho, Shuddho, ho, not ho gaya. Ho gayo. Uddho, Shuddho, ho gaya. Udhav became Suddha, purified. By what? Braja Gopin Kebol. By the words of Braja Gopis. Jnana bhajai dugdugi. In Vedic culture, if there's a competition between two people, then when the loser is introduced, they play one drum, dugdugi. And when the winner is introduced, then they play dole. Boom, boom, boom. So Jnana bhajai dugdugi, bhaja prem kadol. When Udhav came to Vrindavan and met with the gopis, then his gyan, his knowledge was the loser, failed. And the prem, the meeting of Udhav and the gopis is like the beating of the dhol, beating of a kettle drum, resounding. That love is superior to knowledge. So Udhav saying, oh, where are these gopis and where am I? They're on the top of Mount Everest and I'm like a little ant at the bottom. I cannot see the extent of their prem. So Uddhavji offered many prayers to Braja Gopis and he stayed there in Vrindavan for many months. And he told the messages of Krishna to the gopis. And he went, they did parikrama, they went all over the different forests of Braj. And they traveled with Uddhav here and there, and Uddhav would speak about Krishna's pastimes. And hearing about Krishna from Uddhav, gopis would have a spurti. One day, gopis were crying. And Uddhav remembered one of Krishna's messages. He said, "Oh Braja Gopis, hear this message from Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is saying, my dear gopis, once I was in the forest with my cowherd boyfriends and they were surrounded by a forest fire. And I told them, close your eyes. And when they closed their eyes, then I took away all the fire. And when they opened their eyes again, it was gone and they were safe. So in the same way, my dear gopis, now you are surrounded by the fire of separation. If you just close your eyes for a moment, you will see that I am with you. And that fire of separation will be extinguished." So then Uddhav told the gopis, "Oh gopis, now close your eyes." And hearing this, the gopis, they all closed their eyes. And when they closed their eyes, then in just 1 second, Yoga Maya came and manifested millions of years. They saw that Krishna was with them. And they were swinging with Krishna, doing Julan Lila. They saw that they were drinking honey wine with Krishna and getting intoxicated. They saw they were taking colors and throwing colors on each other and doing holy Lila. They saw they were swimming together in the Jamuna. They saw they were going in kunjas and playing dice, chaupar, gambling and betting and laughing and joking. And in this way, they enjoyed beautiful pastimes with Krishna for millions of years. And then they heard a voice, "Oh gopis, open your eyes." And then they opened their eyes again, and so Uddhava was standing in front of them. It was only 1 second later. But when they opened their eyes, they felt as if they had been born again, completely new, completely refreshed. And the gopis worshipped Uddhava as a guru. Actually, they realized what Krishna had said. Udhavan vapiman, Uddhava is not less than me. If you will hear katha from him, then you can see how I am always with you. So then after some months passed by. And one day Radharani said to Udhav, "Hey Udhav, your Sakka is waiting for you. Your friend is waiting." Because Udhav thought, I'll go to Vrindavan for a few days, then I'll come back to Mathura and be with Krishna. But when Radharani said, "Hey Udhav, your Sakka is waiting for you," then Uddhav was in shock. Because he realized, what is that? My whole life I was dedicated to Krishna, serving Krishna. And Krishna came and I lived with Krishna in Mathura. He sent me away, I didn't want to go. But hearing the glorification of gopis, I became curious. And I came here But when I came in the association of the devotees, now for months, I completely forgot about Krishna, that he's there. I totally forgot that I left Krishna behind in Mathura by the influence of their love. So then Udhava realized, oh, yes, I'll have to go back to Mathura and bring some news to Krishna of the Braj Gopis. Udhavji was thinking, Ya Vaishri Achitamajadibi Aptakane Yogeshwararidi Sadatmani Rasa Ghostam Krishna Sitad Bhagavata Charanaravindam Nyastam Stanishu Vicharu Parirabhyatapam. Lakshmi Devi, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the Yogeshwaras, the great Munis, masters of mystic yoga, and other devotees, they meditate upon the lotus feet of Krishna in their hearts. And after meditating for a long time, occasionally, they may have a moment, spurtik, little glimpse of Krishna's lotus feet for a moment. But what is the position of these gopis of Vrindavan? During the Rasa Lila, Braja gopis, out of love for Krishna, took his lotus feet and held them upon their breast. And in this way, they gave up the intense fire of separation. So Braja gopis, they take the lotus feet of Krishna, which even the great Munis, even Brahma, Shiva, even Lakshmi, they cannot touch those feet. They have to meditate upon them for thousands of years just to see them for a moment. So how the gopis are so superior to all other devotees. And actually, when the Braja gopis take the lotus feet of Krishna on their heart, don't think that the gopis are burning in separation and by the touch of his feet, their separation goes away. But more than that, the lotus feet of Krishna are burning in separation from the gopis. And his fire of separation goes away when he touches their hearts. When Udhava was thinking in this way, he thought, wait a minute, Krishna told me you should go to Vrindavan and you should pacify their feelings of separation. But how can I pacify their feelings of separation? Only Krishna's direct presence can do that when they hold his feet upon their hearts. So why did Krishna send me here? What was the purpose? Actually, I cannot really fully satisfy them. Only Krishna's presence can do that. So why is it that he sent me here? Do you know? Why? Srila Sanatana Goswami said, at the very end of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami describes the prema of Rukmini, Satyabhama and the queens of Dwarka. There is a Geet there, just like earlier in Srimad Bhagavatam there's Venu Geet, Pranay Geet, Gopi Geet, Yugal Geet, and then Brahmar Geet. So at the end of the 10th canto there's a Geet called the Mahishi Geet, the song of the queens of Dwarka. How even when they're with Krishna playing in a lake in Dwarka, they get praying by Chitya, and they experience that Krishna's gone far away to a distant land. And they're lying in their beds at night and tossing and turning, they cannot sleep. One of the queens hears the sound of the ocean waves in Dwarka and says, "Oh ocean, you're also like me, tossing and turning the whole night, you never sleep." Is it because your lover is far away? She's seeing her own bhav in the ocean. So Shukadeva Goswami glorifies the praying by Chitra of the queens of Dwarka. And in the end, he says, Jagat Gurum Bratra Buddhya Kasam Kim Vanyate Tapaha. Shukadeva Goswami in the end of the 10th canto, he said, what person can possibly glorify the love of the queens of Dwarka, who are related to Krishna, who is Jagat Guru, the Guru of the whole universe, They have Bhartri Buddha. They think we are his wives and they directly serve him. Who can speak the extent of whatever austerities they must have performed to get the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their husband and serve him so intimately? Shukadeva Goswami speaks this. It's like the crown jewel, the last closing words of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have to understand something of the Bhav of Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami is Gopi Bhav Avista. He's completely absorbed in the love of the gopis of Vrindavan. And because of that, when he's ending the 10th canto, he wants to glorify them, but he cannot. Because he's feeling so much separation from Radha and Krishna that if he will glorify Parakiya Rasa, he will just faint. And he won't be able to finish the 11th canto and most of the 12th canto. So, the Shukadeva Goswami speaks in Parokshavad. Parokshavad means indirectly. He hides his own feeling, and to hide his feeling, he glorifies the Swakiya Rasa, the married mood of the queens of Dwarka. But his bhav is that he wants to glorify the gopis of Vrindavan, but he hides that and glorifies the married mood. Why? Because if he'll openly say what he's feeling, he may faint. So, if Shukadeva Goswami cannot directly express the glories of Parakiya Bhav, then who will do it? So Krishna had to find someone who could see the glories of Parakiya Bhav, but was not exactly absorbed in that. And that was Udhava. So Udhava realized, oh, Krishna has sent me to Vrindavan. Because Udhava is a pramanik vyakti. He's an authoritative person. If Krishna will say, my gopis of Vrindavan, my beautiful girlfriends of Braj, their love is so high, then people will say, oh Krishna, you know, he's a liar, he tells so many lies. And anyway, everyone says my girlfriend is the best. So Krishna is not a pramanik vyakti, we can't accept. But Udhava being a disciple of Brihaspati, and not being Gopi Bhav Avista, like Shukadeva Goswami, not absorbed in Madhurya Ras, but himself is absorbed in Dasya Ras with some Sakya Bhav mixed in. Then Udhava is a qualified person to see and appreciate Gopi's Bhav and then be able to speak and glorify it without fainting. So finally, Udhava ji said, Vande Nanda Braje Strinam Padarenam Apikshnasaha Yasam Harikatkud Geetam Punati Bhuvanatrayam. I bow down from far away in the direction of one speck of dust on the feet of the gopis of Vrindavan. Now it was time for Udhava to leave. So he was leaving. And as he was going through Braj Mandal, he came to the top of the hill and he looked back. Saritvana Giri Droni Viksham Kusamitan Druman Krishnam Samsmaryan Remi Haridaso Brajokasam. He was remembering how he traveled by the rivers, in the valleys, on the top of hills, through the forest full of flowering trees, with the Braja Gopis. And he was relishing the pastimes of Krishna in their company. And now he came to the top of the hill and he looked in the distance and he saw all gopis, they were still talking to each other. One gopi was glorifying Krishna, one gopi was saying, oh, stop talking about him, let's talk about something auspicious for a change. They can't stop. Whether they're glorifying him, whether they're criticizing Krishna, whatever. Udhava was quite astonished. And from there he came back, came to Mathura. So, when Krishna first told Udhava, go to Braja and glorify the gopis, there were certain things that he couldn't say. Udhava wouldn't be able to digest it, he wouldn't be able to understand it. But after Udhava had gone to Vrindavan seeing the love of Brijbasis, seeing the love of gopis, seeing the love of Radhika speaking with a bumblebee. Now, at the end of Krishna's Leela in this world, he's alone with Udhav. Oh. Maitreya Rishi was nearby, also overhearing. But he was speaking very privately to Udhav. Now Krishna wants to tell Udhav how he really feels. So Krishna's glorification of the Braj Gopis in the 11th canto is superior to his glorification of gopis in the 10th canto. Because Udhav's adhikar has gone up. You can speak Harikatha to a person according to their capacity. So in the 11th canto, Udhav's adhikar has gone up. He's experienced what it's like to be in Braj. So here Krishna is saying, Tivradyanyam dadrisho sukaya, O Udhav. Before I told you, Valabo me madatmika, I am the Atma, the soul of these gopis, to try to indicate to you that their pain is my pain. Whatever gopis are feeling, I also feel. But that is not the truth. The truth is this, Tivradyanyam dadrishu sukaya, that of the two of us, I feel pain of separation from them, but they feel much more pain than me. So in this verse, Krishna is confessing to Udhav. They could not find any happiness anywhere. Why? Because my name is Madhusudan. Madhu means honey, or Madhu means happiness. And Sudan means one who drinks, or one who cuts. So Krishna's name is Madhusudan. That means that if someone has a relationship with Krishna, he will cut all their happiness and they will suffer so much. They'll be in complete pain and misery. So be careful. Don't listen to anything about that black person, Krishna. He's black on the inside and on the outside. Very, very dangerous. He's Madhusudan. Many persons who are having happy and comfortable life, they came in contact with Krishna, but what happened? Madhusudan. In this verse, Krishna is confessing, O Udhav, this is my nature. It is my swabhav. It is my swabhav to meet with someone, to give them so much happiness, to inspire them so much, and then to leave them and put them in a state of indescribable pain and suffering. And therefore, gopis are not like me. O Udhav, gopis are not katur, they are not harsh, they are not cruel, and they are not ungrateful. But I am harsh, I am cruel, and I am ungrateful. Tivradyo anyam dadrishu sukaya. This is Krishna's confession to his close friend, Udhav. How could I leave them? But there's another mystery in this verse. We're coming to the last but one word of the verse. Forgive me, I'm trying to explain this verse, but it's like an ocean. And I cannot, maybe I missed out a few words. I cannot come to the end of it. It's an endless ocean of nectar, of Krishna opening his heart to his dear friend, remembering his love for gopis. Here, dadrishu, it means they did not see sukaya, any cause of happiness in the world in separation from me. So dadrishu is in the perfect tense, past perfect tense. It indicates something that happened in the past but is now over. It's completed. It's a completed action. So when Krishna said they were suffering so much, they did not see any happiness, means that now that situation is over. It indicates that by the time the Dwarka Leela was going on, quite a long time before that, Krishna from Dwarka went to fight with Dantavakra. So you know Dantavakra attacked Mathura, and from Dwarka Krishna came and fought with Dantavakra and mercifully liberated him. or killed him, whichever perspective you look at it. So killed him, liberated Dantavakra, but then Krishna realized, I'm so close to Braja, and he crossed the Jamuna in his chariot to the forest on the other side. So the forest on the other side of the Jamuna from Mathura is called Lohavan. Have you been there? Lohavan. There's a village called Gaurai. So when there was the solar eclipse at Kurukshetra, Krishna came with all the Yadu dynasty to Kurukshetra, and the Brijbasis came and met with him. Yeah. And Krishna told Braj Gopis, oh my dear Gopis, there are only a few more demons I have to kill, and then I will return to Braja. So when all the Brijbasis riding on their bullock carts returned from Kurukshetra, they didn't go back to Nandagal and Varsana, but rather all Brijbasis were camping in the village of Gaurai that is in Lohavan. And they were waiting because Krishna had promised to return. So after killing Dantavakra, Krishna crossed the Jamuna in his chariot and was blowing his conch. Brijbasi thought, what is that? And they looked in the distance, they could see some dust flying into the air. And the chariot was coming. And they began to run in the direction of that chariot. And then they saw the flag sticking up through the dust. And on the flag was Hanuman. No, because that would mean that Arjuna was coming. It was Garuda on the flag. Krishna's chariot has Garuda. Right? Arjuna's chariot has Hanuman, Krishna's chariot has Garuda. They saw it was Garuda on the flag, then they knew it really is Krishna returning. And though they were running so fast, they became stunned, stamba, in ecstasy. And they froze like statues. But in their heart, they didn't know they were still running. In their heart, they were still running, but their bodies became. And then Krishna pulled up on the chariot and jumped down, and all Brijbasis surrounded him and embraced him. Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Janmavado Yadubara Parishat Swayar Dobirasyana Dharmam Sthiracharabhatinagana Susmita Srimukena Bhajapurabhanitanam Vadayan Kamadevam. And they were united. Then Krishna met with all Brijbasis and Vrajagopis, and then in one form, Krishna became Aprakat. That means with all Brijbasis, he entered into this unmanifest Leela, eternal Leela, and Krishna expanded himself, and in another form, he came on his chariot back to Dwarka, and that form of Krishna is now speaking this verse to Udhava, to pacify him. Yes, they were in great pain, but dadrishu sukaya. That pain, it came to an end, because though I am just winding up my Dwarka Leela now, my Braj pastimes have already returned to Goloka Vrindavan at that time when I went to face Dantavakra. So in this way, many bhavs, many ecstasies, many elements of the love of Krishna for Braj Gopis and Gopis' love for Krishna, and also Krishna's relationship with Udhava. This verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is saturated with all these bhavs. So Srila Sanatana Goswami has given many such verses and explanations in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, so that the devotees can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And remember the meaning of each word, each letter, and sink into that, become lost in that. Gradually, their mantramaya upasana will become Swarasika upasana, and in a spiritual form, you will enter into the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. This is our method of bhajan. Bole Vrindavan Vyala ki jai, Bole Saniwali ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. Gaur Prema.
Haribol. Wonderful.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Udhava Ji Maharaj ki
Jai.
So we like to sing one kirtan, and then prasadam will be. So if devotees have questions, can meet with me afterwards also. I'd like to invite everyone, please come to Braj Mandal Parikrama. And every day from 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, we'll have Kirtan and Harikatha like this, but for 1 month, non-stop. So please write down, give me your email address, and I'll send you all the details of our Braj Mandal Parikrama this year. Sorry, I just have to change the raga. There we go.
With Radhika and all Braji Gopis, remembering Krishna in the mood of separation. Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
जय श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्व गिरधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। नित्य लीला विष्णु ओम विष्णु भारेश्वर स्मरण रूपानुगचार्य वर्ष भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की
जय।
नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णु भार विष्णु राजा श्रीमद भक्ति विज्ञान वर्ष गोस्वामी महाराज की
जय।
नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णु भार विष्णु राजा श्रीमद भक्तिनाथ स्वामी प्रभुपाद की
जय।
नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णु भार विष्णु श्रीमद भक्ति विज्ञान गोस्वामी महाराज की
जय।
नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णु भार विष्णु श्रीमद भक्ति भगवान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय।
जय।
जय श्री भक्ति श्री ठाकुर जगत गुरु श्री प्रभात की
जय।
महाभगवासी गोक्षोदास भवी महाराज
की जय।
सप्तम गोस्वामी सठान ठाकुर भक्तिनोद की
जय।
श्री रूपानुग गौरी गुरुवा की जय।
जय।
जय श्री रूप सनातन पुत्र गुणात श्री जीव गोपाल मददासरण सत गोस्वामी भू की
जय।
प्रेम से गौ कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सरि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय।
श्री मंडल कत्रमनु गौर मंडल की जय।
जय।
गौरम करि श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन
की जय।
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
राधा गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय।
जय।
संत गौरी वैष्णव वृंद की
जय।
भक्त वृंद की
जय।
जय।